Yes, all right. So I will be telling you today how to get bonus points for code quality. Code quality, code quality? What does code quality have to do with a hackathon? We're going to hack things together, right? So who cares about code quality? Well, let's see. Actually, so question, who likes spaghetti? Everybody likes spaghetti? Who likes spaghetti code? Right? So this is a little bit about helping you avoid getting entangled in your own tripwires, about having to eat spaghetti for lunch, so to speak. So code quality does matter, also during a hackathon. Good code starts paying back before lunch on the first day of the project. Okay, this hackathon is a bit different because you actually start after lunch, so maybe you have to change lunch and dinner around, but you get the point. So in the beginning, you might make a mess while you're coding, and it doesn't hurt you much. But after a while, and you're working together as a team, you have to understand what the other does, what you have done yourself, and you want to be able to extend and put in your new idea. And for that, you need a code that is maybe not perfect, but at least good enough to build on. And so if you don't get it right from the beginning, at least to some extent, you're going to trip yourself up. And at dinner time, it's not just yourself that you're getting in the way of, but also your team members. You need to integrate the pieces you've been working on, maybe you redistribute tasks, etc. The next day, you might get into bigger trouble because you have this new idea that you really need to overhaul the entire thing, but you don't know anymore what's where. So code quality does matter. Also, it matters because you can earn some bonus points. More on that later. And of course, there's life after the hackathon. And if you are really concerned about not just winning that prize money, but actually going further and building on what you created, then of course helps if you can still understand what you created and still understand how it works and why it works and not just show that it works. So that's the basic idea and the importance of code quality. So what we'll be inviting you to do is to actually do something that's challenging, but quite achievable and fun, which is to keep these 10 guidelines about code quality in mind. They're not rocket science, they are simple things to do and keep in mind. Wrote a book on how to do it. Everybody's welcome to a copy. So you might already know how to do it, you don't need the book. But you can keep these guidelines in mind. For instance, writing short units of code. Don't keep coding, and discover, okay, wait a second, now I have 1,000 lines of code in one function, in one method. That was not a good idea. Stop earlier. And more of these very pragmatic things to keep in mind while you're coding. And they will help you make your solution future-proof. So to help you do this, we have another thing, not just the book, we have the BetterCodeHub. BetterCodeHub is a tool online. If you have a GitHub account, you can get there. And this tool actually checks these 10 guidelines for you. So you can submit your code there, run it through, see where you stand. Actually, on every pull request, every push, you can actually get feedback on these guidelines. And along the way, make sure in each little increment that you're not kind of getting entangled in that plate of spaghetti. So please, make sure that you give us your GitHub username, send it to the email address, bettercodehub@sig.eu. We'll give you access not just to the free version, which is free, but also to the pro version, which gives you, for instance, the place where you can store your secret sauce, the private repositories. And there you can try it out and see how you're doing. So make sure also to try this out during your preparation, not just get to the event and discover what it is. Please give us your information now. So, and then if you do that, you will get something like this. You will get, for instance, a little bit of information on which of the 10 guidelines you actually fulfill and which one you've missed. You get a score. The more guidelines you get right, of course, the more bonus points you earn. And you can get a full drill down to your code to see, you get some suggestions for refactoring candidates where necessary. And I have a question.
So big change you need to invest?
Of these 4, yes. So yeah, maybe you can do equally well, maybe you can do better. As I said, these guidelines are challenging, but they're not rocket science. They're achievable, especially if you stick with them from the beginning and not on the last afternoon figure out, okay, let's see if we can now refactor. But if you just keep up the good hygiene, so to speak, along the way, I think this will actually accelerate you already during the event to keep control over the thing you're building. That's it for me. Supported programming, so currently we have...
the question was, what are these supporting programming languages, right?
Yeah, so currently we have something like 14 languages supported. The most popular ones on GitHub, so JavaScript, Java, C#, Python, PHP, Ruby, and a couple more. Scala is there as well. If you're planning to use something that's not on that list, please contact us. We can probably do something.
Other questions? Yep. Mijn iemand tot de hoofd daar, sorry.
Okay, I have 2 quick questions. First of all, are we going to get judged during the event on code quality? And second of all, can we add our own custom rules that we have to fulfill within this program?
Right. I will start with the second question first. No custom rules. The same rules for everybody. This is the set. It didn't come out of nothing, this set. It's actually something that is commonly applicable across programming languages, for instance. Caters for general needs in software engineering. The thresholds that are in those rules, they actually come out of a big data set that we collected over the years for analyzing billions of lines of software. So that's why we use these. First question was? Judging, yes. So the details of that, I think we can only give them later because we have to see a little bit how that fits into the general criteria. But the basic idea is more of these of guidelines you are able to meet, the more bonus points you can earn. And this will be, we can basically look into your scores and we will communicate to the juries where you stand on code quality.
It's 10 guidelines, right?
10.
And they don't have much time to practice with those guidelines, and it's very time pressured, only having one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What are the top 3 guidelines they should pay attention to, if it was up to you?
So I think, then we go back. Can we go back to the guidelines? So I think just the top 2 here are something that everybody can always take care of, and it always helps you out. And they're very local concerns, keeping things small in each method. So that's really very achievable and easy to do. The more advanced ones are, for instance, the something about architecture components and how large they are, how balanced they are. They are probably things you don't need to put too much effort in during this. That would be my advice. So more the top of the chart, keep it really top of mind, and more bottom in the chart is a bit later.
Okay. One more question. Somebody else? No. Okay.
Do you assume we push our code to GitHub, or?
That's what we assume. Yes.
Okay, so that's
if you're working
hackathon
with
prerequisite to.
So if you work with something else, please let me know.
We have time for another question, if necessary. Yes?
It's not working. Now it's working. As it is a blockchain hackathon, do you have support for smart contract specific languages like Solidity?
No, we don't. But again, so let us know what you're using and we'll see what we can do. Many of these languages actually are DSLs or embedded DSLs, and we can actually provide feedback on those as well. But make sure you check out what's on the list of supported languages. It's documented on the site, and let us know what falls out and what you want support for.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, because the nature of smart contract languages might imply that it's a bit hard to have clean code just based on the limitations of those languages. So
Might be.
let's see.
Okay. So is there also example of good code on the website, so for people to see how you should apply those rules?
There's, for instance,
In the
lots
book.
of coding
And everybody
examples
can
in the
get a free
book.
copy.
Everybody
Here.
gets a free copy.
Perfect.
There's actually 2 versions, depending whether you prefer the C# code examples or the Java code examples, but they're general across programming languages, as I said before. And everybody gets a copy. We'll also bring a lot of books to the event itself.
And birds, they write a lot of clean code, or what is the bird doing there?
Yeah, you have to ask O'Reilly. I don't know. They have this magic bird thing going on. Yeah, O'Reilly decides the animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.